Greetings, my fellow collectors, and welcome to Busy Bee from Germany. This is the first time you are hearing speaking. Today I have a very special topic for you. I am going to do a reroot for a Peruvian version of the tropical Barbie, which I got recently from another collector. And this is how I did it. I am not going to show you the whole process because it's way too long for taping it, because I need 7 or 8 hours for a whole reroot, and I think you are not interested in watching me so long doing this, so I taped only parts of the reroot. So here's the beginning of the whole reroot. I start with one streak at a time, and then I do another and another and another one until I'm done. This head was a special challenge for me because it is much harder than the normal Barbie heads are. And I thought about doing this, and I thought about what may I need to do it right. Is there the chance that I'm going to break it because it has a little split on the side? And that's why you see a bowl with hot water in the background at first. Later on I decided I'm not going to need this anymore and did it without hot water. The quality itself of the head was better than I expected at first. I wasn't sure what would expect me since I've never done one from Peru before. Here you see the very first string I put in the head. As I mentioned before, I use the lock and loop technique because I think it's easy to do, and that's why I use it. I'm not a friend of the knot method. The first streak is always very special because you don't know what expects you inside. You can see that my needle is not straight, it has a little curve because I've done very much reroots with this needle. And then I do the whole thing like before again and again and again. I prefer to prepare a lot of streaks in advance, so that makes the whole process much faster. I think I haven't told you why or how I came to do my own reroots. This was a while back, I think it was in 2011 or 2012, and I wanted to buy a hat, a finished hat with hairs, but nobody wanted to sell me one for a project, and so I decided to do my own, and that's how I came to rerooting. Yay! Time for the second streak. Now we start. I hope I have managed to tape it that you can see how one loop keeps another loop in place. That's how the method got its name. Anyway, believe me, I sometimes wish I had a sewing machine for doing this. Mattel has sewing machines for doing this, but it's also a very meditative task to do so, and if you have any things you want to think about, you can do it when you are rerooting. And the needle goes in the head again, and we have a second streak. Yay, finally! And here we go again for our second streak, so that we see a little bit more from the reroot. I prefer to start where the crest later will be, because I think it's much easier to start there than from behind the ears. This reroot is going to be a 2-color reroot, since I want to have it as original as possible. The first streaks that you see here are the light blonde ones. I think the color is called limited blonde or something like this. And later in this video you are going to see the dark blonde hair too. And since I don't want to bore you too much, I'm going to speed this up a little bit and show you how it looks later. So we are back in a sec. Here you see the result after approximately 30 minutes. That's the progress from now, and we are back in a sec. Here's the result about what you are going to see after 1 hour of work. it doesn't seem much, but it's of course more than at the beginning of the whole process. And here's what you'll see about 1.5 hours later. I'm almost done with the crest part, but a few streaks are still missing here, and that's what I do in the next step. Okay, and here I'm finally done with the crest, and I'm separating the hair and put a crest in it because it's much easier in this part of the process than later on. I changed the color of the hair in the meantime and work with a dark blonde now, and later I'm going to change it back to the light blonde. After finishing the crest, I prefer to work in circles around the head because I think it's much easier when you work in circles than if you do any random streaks. Okay, I think you can see the different hair colors here very well. And the more streaks you add to the head, the more you can see, of course. The last row is still missing. I'm going to use the light blonde hair again, which was called limited blonde. It's always a very good feeling when you have come to this point and see how many work you have done and how less there is to do anymore. And by now we are almost done. The last streak is still missing, and I am going to show you how I put it in the head. I like to check things twice when I come to a place like the end of the reroot, just to be sure that everything works out fine and I don't have to do the work twice. I use my torch for this. You are going to see this in a second. So the last streak goes in the head in a second, and we're done then. And I'm going to show you my very special method to finish a reroot. I use a knot to make sure that everything stays in the head where it has to be. By the way, it's no problem to reroot a head in several different colors. You just have to prepare the head and the colors, of course, and then you can do it in multiple colors. I've already done some heads in multiple colors. If you are interested to see them, let me know. For this specific head from Peru, I only had 2 pics to have a look at and see how the original was done and how I could do the reroot. I hope it is original as possible, but I'm not sure because there are only a few pics. But this is of course not the end of the process, because after rerouting you have a head with very white hair and you have to flatten it, and that's what I plan to do in one of my next videos. So I hope you stay tuned in and have a look at the next videos where I'm going to show you how to flatten the white hair that you see here. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, write them below in the comment box.